So that kind of leads into you. Like, we want to know who you are. Who are you and your husband? Where did this journey originate? Anything you want to share with us?
All right. Hey, y'all. I'm Diane Woodford. I am a One Love ambassador. That is the title that I embody and that I take because for the last 10 years, that's what we've been doing, going around initially US. So we traveled around the US for about almost 10 years. And we went from place to place to place. We started out in Pasadena, California. I was a regular person, y'all. I mean, just a real life professional person. I was a college professor of nursing, graduate nursing. I'm a retired critical care nurse. I'm a published author now, times two. Podcast host, wife, Nana. But One Love Ambassador is what I really embrace these days because we need love, y'all, out here. And I tell you, we're in France. I don't really speak French, but I do speak love. And you would be amazed at how love will really cross the lines. You can smile. You can just use a couple of keywords, right? Over here in France, I know how to say bonjour. I know how to say merci, merci beaucoup. That's like thank you very much, bonsoir, excuse-moi. And then I know how to smile, right? And then just use a lot of sign language. And I truly believe that in our journeys, what we do prepares us. So all my years in nursing, I had patients from all sorts of background. So you learn how to do that sign. You know how to make it. You can communicate, right? With pointing, smiling, in Google Translate. I am fluent in Google Translate.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, love expands across all languages, right? So just, I'm sure you just figure out how to, I mean, you can say so much with your face and body
Hmm.
language too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah.
a smile. And, even here in France, right? Um, make the effort. And that's wherever you go, even in Portugal, you make the effort. And when they see you making the effort, then they meet you. They
Hmm.
meet you at that, just at that place, right? Um, it's been an incredible journey, a remarkable journey. I'm taking it with my husband, Charles. We've been here in Europe since May, and have just love has just caught us to some incredible places. I've been to Ireland, Dublin, to the UK, to Lyon, France. We're in Dijon, France. Yes, what I've learned, Megan, is when you say yes to the adventure, then you will have an incredible journey. You just have to trust it, stay true to yourself, and shut out the outside noise. You have to just shut it out so that you can just elevate your frequency and your light. And then all that need to join you on said journeys, you will attract them. You'll attract them.
So, do you guys have a home base or I mean, is the world your home?
Yes, that's a great question. Thanks for asking. So, for probably the last almost 5 years, it's been Nashville, Tennessee. Before coming here to Europe this time, our licenses were going to expire. Our driver's license,
Hmm.
they need driver's license to go along with that passport. So we stopped in Michigan to see our family before we came. So we set up just a temporary home base back in Michigan. Although we're Michiganders, that's That's really not home for us, just temporary right now. So a home base in placematting is Michigan right now, and we're discovering it. We're discovering it.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. So, how do you pick where you go next? And you said that, saying yes to adventure, to the call, I'm sure it's something like that, like you feel a nudge or something. How does that work? And how do you know where to go next?
Haha, great question. And I will answer it like this: our destinations choose us.
Mm,
We get called to places. So somebody listening is probably like, yeah, what? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't, but that's what it is. And a great case in point is we were in Dijon, France for 6 weeks. We were winding down and we knew it was time to, take the next leap. Where are we going? So it got a little antsy almost, believe it or not, 10 years in the game. But still, it's like, well, where are we going? Where are we supposed to go? And so what happened was I just felt this nudge is like pulling us towards Paris. So I thought we were going back to Paris. And then what happened was I got this download and says, check out cities between Lyon and Paris. So I said, okay, let me check out some cities. Dijon was one of the cities. And so it
hmm.
was one of the cities that just kind of stood out. You know how like you look at something
Yeah.
and there's something that jumps off from the paper?
Hmm.
So it that was the city that highlighted. We got here 2 weeks ago today, actually, and so we came here and we did it. We booked for a week because we weren't sure, and then the day after we arrived, we said, yeah, we need to give this place a little more time because it's pretty amazing. So we extended for 2 more weeks. So to answer your question, the places call
Mm.
us. Like we get called to different locations and we say yes.
Yeah. You say yes. And then once you're there, do you feel like there's a sole purpose, or is it just kind of radiating your love and being that for the place you're at?
There's always a sole purpose. There's always a sole purpose. Sometimes that purpose is more obvious
Mm,
than others. Sometimes it's just the people that we meet and engage with, right? And it might not be anything spectacular. Other times it's like we were sent in, just like you were saying. I know why Dan or your husband,
mhm.
I know why he resonated towards you when I gave Wampo, right? And
Yeah.
so it's that sort of thing. Like we get there, we share our story, and there's someone that's right at the crossroad of a transition. There's someone that wants to leap. There's someone that wants to take
Mm,
a similar journey in their own way. We show up and share our story, and it gives them that inspiration. It gives them that little, they're like, you are not, we didn't meet you by accident.
yeah. They needed you. You came in at just the right time, which is
Absolutely.
incredible. And you guys have a podcast too. Is this something that you talk about on your podcast? Just
Yeah.
following
So
the nudges?
our podcast is Love Drops Podcast. And that was born out of the lockdown because
Oh,
of the narrative. It was such a negative narrative. Everything was just heavy.
yeah.
And so we just started dropping love. And it started out with little videos, 5-minute videos, and it evolved into a podcast. And so the podcast definitely aligns with the journey because we've had guests from all over the world on the
Nice.
podcast. We've had guests from all over the world on the podcast, and it's inspirational. And what the podcast does is it shares journeys, shares stories, shares people doing incredible things. And we share that so that those that are thinking about it just know you can do it because this world is this world's a little tricky to navigate right now, but it's still so much love there. You know, it's not all dark. And there are people that just in their part of the world, that's all they're seeing is darkness. It's like, is there any light out there? Is
Yeah.
there any love out there? And I truly believe that as One Love ambassadors, that is our mission, to show people around the world that yes, love is still here. Love never fails and love is still shining.
Yeah. This is the most important message I think we need to hear today. Honestly, if you allow it, there's so much negativity, and it's everywhere. If you want it, if you want to look for it, you can find it on TV, you can find it on the radio, you can find it on your computer, your phone, if you allow it. But this message that you guys are spreading is the most important thing because, like you said, yes, there is love. And what are you looking for? Are you looking for the negativity or are you looking for the love? And here you guys are going out and willfully spreading the love, which is amazing. I love it. I need you in Minneapolis. Come visit us next.
I'm telling you, we've gotten a lot of hits from Minneapolis. I think you
Have
guys are
you?
like the
Oh,
third person from Minneapolis in like the last month. I can tell you this. It's always yes to the adventure, but the adventure knows how I feel about snow. And what I say is I jokingly, not jokingly, say I'm allergic to snow. So I just yeah, it's just like this season right here, you know, I can catch you in the spring, not even the spring because the weather's so tricky
it
there.
is tricky.
I'll catch you summer fall. I'll
Yeah, I
catch you
hear you.
summer fall.
I understand. Yeah. We do have a hot tub, so if you're here in the winter, you can warm up in there if you want. But I get
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
um,
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah. The offer stands anytime. So I imagine a journey like this, where you're just following the nudges, saying yes to your adventures. There have to be some storms that arise or some tricky times. Tell us about some of those.
Absolutely. Great question. And you know, you're right. We said we are called to our assignment. So we're called into the very situations. I think it is not by accident, totally by design, because in 2021, after the lockdown, we had a huge storm. You know, we were in South Carolina, actually Beaufort, South Carolina, and my wonderful Charles got sick for the first time,
Oh,
uh, big time sick, where he had need to go to the hospital in his life. And at the time, he was right before 78, I want to say, right before his 78th birthday. And they wrote him off. You know, it's like the doctors
oh,
were like, yeah, he's not going to make it. And it was a very um, tragic experience, lots of trauma. Um, and going through that, I knew that there was a purpose, though, right? Again, we speak about that love, right? And that love even goes into the storms. After it was all said and done, and he came out as the miracle man,
hmm.
what happened is I was able to better see what was going on. We were placed in that situation. We were divinely placed in that situation. And it's definitely one of the places that if we knew in advance, surely I'd have said, no, thank you. You can send someone
Yeah,
else. Yeah, I'll pass on this one. But that's why I think you get into it and then you live through it. So and that's what it is for us. And so we were brought into that situation to bring love to the medical
Mm,
professionals that were serving. So many people were dying. So many medical professionals
mm,
were just hit. Like they were just traumatized by all of the
yeah.
death, by all of that which COVID brought, right?
Mhm.
And so even with him, even the nurses, they were optimistic. And then when he was placed on life support, I saw the hope lights shut off for them. And I didn't blame them because of all that they had been through, but my light was on. I knew it's like,
Yeah.
no, we're coming out and talk about crazy. Just how people think you're crazy because people were like, I understand, but you just gotta, be realistic, and you just have to just see that, it's not looking good for the home team. And Megan, in this journey, and when you hold that torch for love, you have to do so unapologetically all in, regardless of what others say, regardless of what others may feel. You have to know what you know. And
Mm.
because I did, we were able to come through that storm. Love wins. A lot of the nurses we've stayed in touch with. Um,
Oh,
and
I
a
love
lot of
that.
them spoke to us after, and they were just like, it was life changing. They told us that the ICU room that he was in, ICU room number 8, they were saying how people that were put in that room, and they looked like they were going down and they would just pop back up. So it was just like, not only was he the
Oh,
miracle man, it was just like the energy that was there. But a big thing was it helped them to recalibrate their compassion compasses,
mm,
because you got into a point where it was all going south,
yeah,
anyways, and it helped them to rebalance it and help them to reignite their hope, you know and I'll tell you, most of the nurses that were key with us, they have gone on and done other things. They are thriving, in
yeah,
life, and even some of the doctors. So yeah, yeah,
yeah.
love wins.
It matters. That energy really mattered. Okay, that story almost made me cry. I was able to not, but that's just so incredible that you guys made such an impact. And I love that you were an advocate for Charles and that you were like, no, this I get it that you are losing hope, but no, this is I know what I know and we're going to carry on as I know we're meant to. And he probably, I mean, certainly felt that as well. He felt your advocacy for sure,
Oh yeah.
right? And that
Oh yeah.
helped immensely. I'm positive.
Oh yeah, for sure. And still do, and still do. And that's the thing about this journey and this love, is it does not matter what's going on outside of you. You have to keep your torch within you lit. And so however that is for you, whatever it takes for you to just keep your center, right? Calibrated. Not saying that it's easy, because, going through that and advocating for him, it wasn't a cakewalk by
Yeah.
any means, not by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of keeping your center calibrated, I think this is really important to highlight because we're talking to food bloggers, and I don't know if you know much about our space, but we have just been hit like one thing after another this year. Just the 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 new AI emergence has just kind of taken away our traffic and our revenue and our livelihoods, and not just that, but it seems like there's just one thing after another, and it's like that in the world too. It feels like all the hits just keep coming. I live in Minneapolis. We've had some tragedies here this year that it's like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, we can't even wrap our minds around it. So, how do we keep our centers calibrated when it just feels like things are coming at us one thing after another?
Yes, that's a great question. And as you were speaking, I'm a foodie. We talked a little bit about that before, going on air. And here's the thing, right? There is so much that AI can do. It can do it faster. It can do this, and this. But there is also things that we as humans, right, can do. So when things come to kind of like just push you out, that's where the shift and pivot comes in. And that is a big key to recalibrating your center. You must be willing to shift and pivot. Well, we've always done it this way, and this has worked
Mm,
so much. But when you see that things are pushing in, what AI cannot do is it cannot really taste the food and like give the expressions with tasting of the food, right? There's so many things, that humans have advantage over AI. Yes, AI is coming in and it's coming in like gangbusters, right? Um, I'm a writer, so even when I write, sometimes I'll check and then I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm going to go with what I said because it's my voice.
yeah.
It's in my voice, right? So even like with the bloggers, right? Even though their AI is coming in, there's so many different challenges you can do. Hey guys, let's do the pizza challenge. Hey guys, you have to find like that creativity.
Mm,
We're going to do plant-based ice cream. Hey guys, I'm going around and I'm blogging on all of the different independent coffee shops around Minnesota, right? Female based. You find the different niches. So what it requires in that pivot and recalibration is some research, right? So you go out and say, well, what is AI not doing? Or
yeah.
okay, how is AI doing this? Okay, let me put a human touch on it, right? And that's what you do. You don't try to beat it at its own game because it can throw out uh, reviews and blogs like 1,000 in 20 minutes or whatever. So yeah, that's not what we're doing. But what you can't do is you can't taste. You
Yeah.
can't, just taste this flavor, expression, right? And, just different things like that. And what AI cannot do, at least yet, is make human connections. So,
Mm,
what you do is you find that human connection and you do that. You start blogging on grandma's recipes while we still have the grandmothers here, go talk to,
yes. Yeah.
just all of, just things like that,
Yeah.
you know?
That's kind of an epiphany moment because I've never heard it said exactly that way. We hear all the time in our space, you know, do the human thing. People like the connection, but I've never heard anyone say it like that. What can't AI do? And focus there. AI can't taste your spaghetti sauce and tell you how it tastes. So maybe that's where we go for a time. We create videos on taste testing grandma's food that can't be touched by AI. And I absolutely love that perspective. So thank you.
Use the babies too when you said that because when you go generation, you want to go up and down on that generational ladder, right? So use the babies. Like have kids tasting
Oh,
different
that's a
food
good
because
idea.
I promise you, kids are not gonna lie. They if
Yeah.
it's not good, it's like, oh, that's not good. And if your kid says it's good, then
Yeah.
you get that. I was like, I want to say something to Megan because foodies and everything, and I want to say something about this pancake place that we found in Lyon. And I'm trying to think of the name. And of course, I can't think of the name because I'm trying to think of the name. But what I can say is the way that they prepared the pancakes is they did the pancakes and they were like so thin and oh my God, so great. But
Yum.
here's the thing. They put a fried egg on top of the pancake. So
Oh,
they had the pancakes, right? And then they had an egg over easy, just cooked enough. So it wasn't slimy, but then it wasn't cooked too hard either. It was like
yeah.
perfect. So you still had the yolk. It was almost poached. It was
Oh, that
almost like
sounds
kind of poached.
amazing.
And then they had this really crispy honey crisp bacon that they
Oh.
had. And let me tell you, it was so good. And they kind of like put it, and it was so good. When I saw that egg on top of my pancakes, so right, I was like,
What is
what is
this?
this? Right, exactly. But what I'm doing in these travels is I'm allowing myself to try flavors. I'm allowing myself to try it. Now I'm gonna tell you, there's just some things I'm not trying, Megan. But some, they have these places called bouchons here in France, and what that is, they cook every part of the animal. So
Oh,
I'm talking about from the rooty to
oh,
the tooty, the eyeballs, the nose, the spout,
oh gosh. I
all
don't
just
know about that.
just everything. And so they say, just don't ask, just eat, but just don't ask. I'm not doing that. But I mean, as far as a egg over a pancake,
Yeah, try
that
that. That
and it
sounds
was
amazing.
great. It was so just and with the syrup. So yeah,
Mm,
the syrup, the butter, the oh yeah. I mean,
sweet and savory and salty. Oh,
you
yeah.
close your eyes and you put it in, and it's just like
Oh,
it's things like that. And
yeah.
AI can't give that expression. It can give
Mm-hmm.
a description, but not like that what you expression,
Reaction to it.
right?
Yeah,
And
right.
so maybe even with the blogging, go react, just for the reactions.
Yeah. No, that is good food for thought. I love that because video is huge because of this, because we want that authentic human connection, but also those
Yes.
reactions that cannot be replicated through AI. It's so valuable.
Yes, go to
Yeah.
vineyards, go to like it's like you're in Minnesota, and so in fall. I'm not sure if you have like cider mills
Mm.
or pumpkin
Yeah.
patches, just different things, and then literally go to the places, right,
Yeah.
and taste test it. Go to the places and just see if you can get people that are coming up and just maybe just get a little quick video, just people's reactions and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So more generally speaking, just the world in general, how do you find that inner peace when maybe you happen to hear something terrible that happened in the world and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that was awful." And you start to kind of go there and get consumed with it. This happens to me and then I'm like, "Nope, I have to come back to my center and find that love that you talk about." How do you do that?
I do it by just intentionally starting my day grounded, right? And when I see myself at the cusp of the rabbit hole, is what I call it, then I intentionally stop and just pull back away from it. Because what I say so often is, in order to emit love at the frequency that we do, in order for me to just be able to say yes to the various adventures, I have to have that love centered. So for me, I hear the news, I feel the news, but I cannot hold it. So I have a friend that gave me this quote a few years back, and it is, let it come, let it be, let it go.
Hmm.
And so when things are like that, like happening like that in the world, like just recently, just all of this, I let it come. I let it be. I let myself feel pissed off, and I
Yeah.
think it's very important for listeners and viewers to know that, yeah, I do get mad. I
Yeah.
get ticked off. I get sad. I get, I have emotions, but I choose love. And that's the thing. It is a choice. Every single time. It is a choice. And even like I said, when went through that storm with Charles, it was a lot of mishandling and a lot of things that were done
Mm.
wrong in that hospital. And when I came out of it, my mind was on, it's like, I am suing those suckers. They're
Yeah.
getting sued. We about to get
Yeah.
pissed. It's like life is just getting ready. And so what I did is I just went inside and I says, what is the best approach? Like,
Mm.
what's the best way to get them? Because I'm going for the head, the knees, and the hands. I'm coming at them from all sides. And when I sat with that, Megan, what came to me was forgive them.
Mm.
And let me tell you something. Yeah, I had to go back a couple of times with that, Megan. I'm just keeping it real with you. I mean, I am not even getting ready to say, I got forgive them. And I was like, oh, no, that is not what happened. I got forgive them. And my reaction was, are you serious? Nah, I can't be hearing this right. Let me just go. Hold on, let me do some sage or something.
Yeah.
No, honestly, forgiveness is not always easy. Choosing love is not always easy, but it is always rewarding and it is always freeing. And it is always the best way to come back to your center. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point to make, that it's not always easy. And I think we hear people like you talk and we think, oh, well, it just comes naturally for her.
Mm.
Like, of course, she's going to choose love, but I am dealing with this and it's not easy for me. But that's not the case. It is hard at times for all of us.
All of us, all of us, all of us. And here's the thing. We always have a choice. Always. And I think it's so important, especially in these times now. When you do not make a choice, you're making a choice.
Mm,
It's always, you're always, always choosing. Even if you choose not to choose, guess what? You just chose.
yeah. Woo. That one's good. That's really good. I'm writing so many gems down. Diane, you're just shooting them out. Wow. Oh, this is so good. I mean, I feel like I could probably talk to you all day, but what else do I want to ask you? Is there anything that you've learned in your journey that we haven't talked about that you're just feeling like you need to share with people?
Yes. I would say that as fun as the word Kadiwampo is, as fun as it probably was for you guys to just sell everything and get an RV and just take off for those 10 years, every single move is there's an intentionality there, and there's butterflies there, and and you look over the edge and you say, okay, so like, what next? And with every next, even I say the place calls, and especially when you don't know what the call is, like you don't have it all mapped out, which we generally do.
Yeah.
When you live in the now, when you live in the now moment, it's so much easier to be brave. It's so much easier to have gratitude. And it's so much easier to take the next step. So, what I would say is just be here now. Be here now. So many people are so far in the future, tomorrow's not promised. Well, what am I going to eat? Well, I don't, my savings is I only have 10 years of, just stay
Yeah.
here. Just stay here. Because what I have found in this journey is every single thing that is needed, it always shows up.
Hmm.
It always shows up. It just shows up. We have not been hungry. We have not been homeless. We have not even been without a community for the whole 10 years, walking away from life as we knew it, giving everything away, saying yes to the adventure. Not easy. And it's not for everyone. It's
Mhm.
not for everyone. So I say live your truth. Just live your truth and really just stay now, right here. Stay now and create the space for what you want.
That is key. I feel like being in the now, yet it seems so hard for so many people. There was a time when it was really hard for me as well. Are there tips or tricks you have for staying in the now? Is like does meditation help you? Are there any little hacks that you have for that?
You know what? I say find your joy, right? And do that more. So
Mm.
sometimes dancing, listening to music, reading, walking. Walking is really key for me. I like to walk.
Mm.
Some people like to work out. I promise you, if you're an avid physical fitness person, when you're on that treadmill, running or just lift those weights or just whatever you're doing your yoga, your Pilates, just whatever it is that like feeds your joy pot, you are not thinking about anything else. You're in that moment. I love the ocean. So I love,
Mm.
walking by water. I love the water. And that's the thing about this adventure because I am called to the water often. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to find it. I get called to places that's by the water, some that I didn't even know of. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting, right? So it's just to answer your question, you know, I meditate, I sit quietly. Sometimes it's as easy as grabbing a cup of tea and just sitting with your favorite song and just enjoying that moment.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple.
Yeah. We don't need to overcomplicate it.
No, a pause.
Yeah. A
Just to
pause.
just to pause and just close your eyes and just think on the word relax, right? And just inhale through your nose and you think exhale through your nose and you think lax. And you do
Mm.
that 5 times and you've reset your nervous system right there.
Yeah. It's as easy as
Easy.
that. Easy peasy. Something I heard recently that I've been loving is just follow your bliss. And that means like a moment calls you, follow it. The other day, I had that in my mind and I was upstairs and it was this just beautiful rainy day and our screen door was closed, but like the sliding door was open so you could hear the rain. It was just this moment and I knew I had work to do. So I was trying to rush downstairs to get my work done. And I remembered that, like, follow your bliss. And I was like, oh my gosh, it would be so lovely to just go sit on my front porch swing where it's covered so I could sit there and not get drenched in rain and just enjoy that moment. And I followed it. I was like, okay, I'm going to put
Yes.
my work down for 10 minutes. And I went out and it was the most just peaceful, beautiful moment, but such a simple moment. And I feel like my whole day was rewarded because I said yes to it. Just that few minutes of time. So stuff like that you're talking about, just
Yes.
noticing and allowing yourself the joy and the bliss.
Absolutely. And you're still smiling about it now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because it plants seeds. And the next time you have that bliss card, you're going to follow it because you know how it made you feel, you know?
Yeah.
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 Yes. Yes.
So simple. And I think we just get used to ignoring those nudges and calls, whether it's a nudge like yours, a 10-year plus adventure, or just sitting in the rain for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes,
Yeah,
right.
right.
Exactly. That 10, right?
Yeah, the 10. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Um,
Yeah.
Thank you, Diane. I'm just so inspired by your story. This is the best way to start my day. You're my first interview today. I could not have
Awesome.
had a better start. So, yeah, just thank you for sharing and all this hard stuff about
Thank
Charles and what you guys went through. And just thank you for being such an advocate in the world for love and for spreading that. We need you. We need you times a million.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, I guess when we're talking, so about Charles, I did write a book.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
did write a book about it, and it's called
Oh,
Aftercare: Finding Peace Beyond Trauma. So that's the book that I wrote, and my gift, because I always like to give, just a gift to my reader, gift, just to people that take the time, right? So we have this 40-day meditation that's on our site, and so it's called Pause, Love, Reset Meditations, and they are all shorter than 3 minutes. They're all around about
oh,
2 minutes, and they're inspired from that storm,
hmm.
but they're my voice and Charles's voice, and so it's on the website. Yeah, it's
Oh,
on my,
amazing. That's so
yeah,
exciting. Okay, I'm
yes,
excited to go check that out. Well, thank you.
yes.
And your book, I'm definitely getting your book. Is that available on Amazon?
Yeah, it's available actually globally. Yes, I'm
Yay.
so yeah, so it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple, Kindle, yeah, it's a lot of places and a lot of independent bookstores, and globally. Yeah, it's available here in France. Yay.
Oh, amazing.
So, yeah, yes. So, um, I guess for the book, like if you, my website is Paths, PATHS, number two, transformation, TRANSFORMATION.com.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone will go check that out. And after hearing your story, I think we'll be compelled to buy it. So thanks for sharing it. And then I did mention at the beginning, before we recorded, that I like my guests to either share a favorite quote or words of inspiration. You've already inspired us a lot, but do you have anything additionally, Diane?
Well, yes, I came prepared for that part,
Yay.
and it is so appropriate. And so it is a quote by one of my favorites that I absolutely love, and I had a chance to meet her before she passed, and that's Maya Angelou.
You had got to meet her?
Yes,
Whoa.
yes, and it was amazing. And so her quote, and it's just a small section, and it is just be the rainbow in somebody else's cloud. And I feel like it's very cloudy in the world right now. So let's just choose to be rainbows. Let's be rainbows. Let's
Oh,
be rainbows. Yeah.
yes, please. I cannot believe you got to meet her. What
Yeah.
what was that like? I can't even
Oh
imagine.
my goodness. So it was in Pasadena, California, and I want to say it was back in 2009. Get it right. Get it right. Pasadena, California, at the Civic Center in 2009. Charles and I sat front row. She came out. in the auditorium with the chair, lamp and everything. And she sat down, and it was as if you were in her living room, and
Mm,
she just talked to us and talked to, just talked and talked and talked. And she must have talked for like almost 2 hours. And it was phenomenal. It was like, talking her story, her, some of her books, but then just giving that personal touch, and just, it was just so amazing to be in the room with her. And like shortly after that in Pasadena, I met Terry McMillan, the writer, and in a restaurant. We were both going through the line in a
oh,
restaurant, and I got to meet Alice Walker. So like those three were kind of like my writing inspirations.
nice.
So just to, again, it's a tract. It's a
Yeah.
tract. It's not like finding them. You just put out that
Hmm.
frequency, and it puts you in the most amazing places. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Oh, incredible that you got to meet some of your people, right? You attracted them. You
Yes.
attracted your people.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you for that perfect quote. And just, yeah, again, great story. And thank you for all of the inspiration today. We will put together a show notes page for you, Diane. So if anyone wants to go peek at those, we'll put everything we've talked about, including your book link and other juicy nuggets we've
Awesome.
discussed today. So that will be at eblogtalk.com/Diane Woodford. So go
Yay.
there. And yeah, thanks again for being here so much. And thank you for listening, food bloggers. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to eBlog Talk. The best way to support this show is to share it with another blogger or friend who could use encouragement today. Let's share the love. I will see you in the next episode.